What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and today we're going to be talking about some of the top receivers you can be using right now temporarily if you can't afford Terrell Owens and you want to wait until Randy Moss gets released. Now, one of my most recent videos, I told you guys I had it up to here with Tyreek Hill. Now, yes, Tyreek Hill is one of the fastest receivers in Madden 20, and he's somebody that you can utilize if you don't mind fumbling all the time or dropping a lot of wide open passes, but that's not what this is about. What this is about is the best way to keep your offense going, depending on your scheme, and still having success when you have people that are very aggressive on defense. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some suggestions just based on what I've been doing with my team. All right, so look, temporarily we have Odell Beckham Jr. as the starter because we got rid of, obviously Tyreek Hill, like I just told you guys. Is he a good wide receiver in this game? No, he is not. All right, I tried to utilize him. He's trash can status. Okay, he's not, pretty much, you know what he's good for? If you want to throw a drag route, he's good for a drag, pretty much drag, slant, stuff like that. He's not a good wide receiver to just, take it over the top though. Typically, Torrey Holt is going to beat any coverage. It doesn't really matter. Plus, they've been very hesitant to give a lot of the cornerbacks decent speed. That's going to all change once Deion Sanders is released, obviously. But Torrey Holt, I would urge all of you guys that are not yet a level 50. I think you only need to get to a 48 for him, though. I think level 48 gives you all of Torrey Holt's cards, so you can update him to a 90. But again, he's probably the ideal wide receiver as the #1 on every team. No matter what, I think he's somebody that can be the secondary receiver for any team right now. Okay? Terrell Owens, in my opinion, is probably at this point in the game the best wide receiver in the game. Okay? After that, once they decide to release Randy Moss, most teams are going to have Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. Now, Terrell Owens is probably going to be the more physical wide receiver that's going to get you that blocking. That'll help you with the ideal format of the way Madden is currently, pretty much meaning that the meta is to run the ball. So T.O. has very, very good stats at wide receiver to be able to kind of hold blocks a little bit longer than other people and also beat your players, beat dudes over the top because he has that 90 speed when he's chemmed. If you add like, the other secondary, whatever, brawler, whatever it is, don't use sprinter because sprinter takes away the wrong attributes. And I'm going to show you guys that in a second because I actually had some questions about that from some of my members on YouTube. If you guys want to know what a member is, if you're looking at my YouTube comment section, my members have globes, like little mini globes from my actual emotes next to their names. So like they're actual members of the channel. What happens is when I do my weekly YouTube streams, the streams are primarily for them. So they're able to ask me direct questions about the game and, building their team up. And that was one of the things that many of you guys were asking about with Brawler, right? So look, you can see that Brawler adds strength and you lose acceleration and you lose agility. In my opinion, it's better to lose that agility and the acceleration as opposed to losing, I believe you lose, don't you lose strength with this? Yeah, because strength is a much bigger factor. So if you start taking away strength from your players, you're gonna notice more fumbles. You're gonna notice that they don't do certain things longer, especially your linemen. Now, if you're trying to build up your team with any of these extra chemistries, just be sure to understand, because most of you guys agree with me, it's very, very hard this year to keep players that you're going to be confident with for a long time. What that means is once you buy this for $800 a player, you got to put that on at least 10 players, where the 10 components is. You got to have that on 10 players in order to get that +1 speed. All right? You better make sure that those players that you added to, you're going to keep. I want all of you guys to understand that, because that's why I haven't really rushed into it, because he's probably the only guy that I can add it to, because he's going to continue to get better because he's the obvious level up master. So we're not going to rage sell him. But other players, bro, I come into the locker room like Winnie the Pooh, nothing underneath my shirt, and I'm cutting my entire team, bro. So if I lose that $800 per player, that can really hurt me. And to be honest with you right now, I don't even know who my favorite player is on the team. So I can't really invest in, 8,000 training to get 10 players. I can't, at this point right now, my bank account ain't set up like that to do that. So I'm not going to do that. But this is just another way that you can add more speed to the wide receivers to make them even more dominant in the actual game. And based on the way that they move with their speed ratings, I would, definitely agree that they would be much better for you to be able to utilize them in the passing game as well as the run game, depending on who the wide receiver is. For instance, I've seen some people tweet me, you know, actual card footage of Terrell Owens being 93 speed. Obviously, that speed is outrageous. So if he gets any kind of distance over the top, he's gone. So, you know, people are utilizing theme teams, they're utilizing brawler, stuff like that to make the players better. But for me, I'm going straight base right now. Because until they release Randy Moss, I don't really have a need or a feel to have any other wide receiver on the team that's going to be, you know, that much better. But I want to point out some hidden players in the game that can really, really help you get, get somebody beaten over the top. So one of the players I have, because he's my rookie premier, Hollywood Brown. We don't call him Marquise here. Straight Hollywood Brown, right? When you look at his numbers from his first upgrade, you can see he jumped to a 91 speed. Okay, that is very, very ideal. But the issue is everything else that he has, as far as like his stats for like run block and, you know, 34, you see that those are disgusting. Even though Torrey Holt has a, what does he have, a 48, OBJ has a 47. You see like how some of them have very, very low 40s and some got mid 40s. Those are typically what wide receivers have in the game, but T.O. outright beats all that. I think he's like in the 50s or something. So that's why T.O. is probably overall the best wide receiver, but he's very, very expensive. And again, we have to see how that price is going to remain, because most of you guys that got him for like 900 whatever, we got to see how it's going to maintain as EA starts dropping other things on us, because that can easily plummet very, very quickly out of nowhere, because EA, you know, tweets out that a new card is coming or something else happens. So be very, very careful with that, how you choose to, you know, pick these cards right now, because you could lose a lot of MUT coins, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of ways to gain it back. Because of most recent promo, it's not really a way. Usually when you get your Nats back and you do master sets, there are ways for us to kind of make out. This most recent promo is more about the future with the dynamic players and things of that nature. It's a different format. So you have to be very, very careful with the way that you lose coins right now. So before you do anything crazy, jot it down in the comment section. Let the community get involved with it. Let other people try to help you. Tweet it out. You know, if I see it and it's not already answered, you know, for some of you guys, I will respond to it. But you have to play it smart, because if you do not, you're not going to gain this back. You're not going to get these type of things back if you invest in the wrong cards. So just be very, very careful with that. If you purchase TO for like 900K or more, or 1 point something million or more, watch the market, watch EA Sports _MUT, see anything that's tweeted out about wide receivers, just so you don't lose too much. And if you need to get rid of TO, you get most of your coins back. Now, because of all the stuff I just told you, it's going to be very difficult for you guys to keep Marquise Brown as a #1 receiver. But in certain cases, in certain formations, you can sneak him in. Because what happens is, he has a very, very low beat press also. T.O. has a very, very high beat press, so if you try to press T.O., pretty much you're giving up 6. Let's go ahead and check. Yeah, he has a 60 beat press. So you can see like even Torrey Holt 81. You can see, you know, OBJ 83. There's players 86. There's players with different types and variances of beat press, so that you'll be able to do that. He's not going to get off of the press very, very quickly, but he's somebody that makes up for a lot of it with his speed. So this is like a temporary, adjustment to having somebody with that, because, you know, Tyreek Hill, that's all he really was a speedster. This guy is, I believe, 1 inch shorter, but at the end of the day, you know, you'll be able to get certain things with him. Also, I believe that this year with rookie premieres, you can also add, you know, the abilities or whatever to them. So, but he's only a 79, so I don't really know what he's going to get right now. I don't think he's going to get much, right? Yeah, he gets like 1 ability or something. Like he ain't really doing nothing right now. Hopefully he continues to play well, and, you know, he continues to ball out, and Lamar Jackson gets him the ball a lot more, and he skyrockets. Because once he gets to like an 85, 86, you're looking at like 93, 94, you know, that kind of speed. And then that's when it's going to be like, all right, it's a wrap. So let's just see if he continues to play well, and everybody will be happy, including myself. All right, so now, most of you guys have told me that you've already raid sold or quick sold Michael Thomas, because he's very, very slow. He's a possession receiver, maybe somebody you throw a slant to, a drag route. He's not beating anybody over the top. Dudes are going to be jogging behind him and still pick you off. So he's not a good replacement, but he's there right now just simply to be there, guys. Like, I will not throw this guy the ball no matter what. Pretty much Torrey Holt and Marquise Brown are my main targets. OBJ I'll keep in the slot. and I'll work with it like that and see what my receivers can give me. So with that being said, we're going to go now to the auction house and we're going to check out some of the top tier receivers. I told you guys already, T.O. is the best, but that doesn't mean that everybody can afford T.O. And by no means do I believe that you guys should be obligated to go out and find a way to get T.O. So I'm going to start off at the top, right? So you guys can kind of, you know, gauge what's going on, and then from there we'll figure out the rest. So let's go to tight. We're going to go over to wide receiver, all right? And then we're going to take a look at some of them. Now, Jerry Rice is a decent card, but again, when we're talking about speed and everything else that goes into it, he's not that ideal card. Now, what I get, let's take a look at his numbers, right? 87, with the power up, he's going to go to 88. But keep in mind, you got to use training points also to get that power up to the point where you can get up to the 88 speed. Is he going to be more likely to burn people because of his, you know, because of other attributes? Maybe. But is he worth it right now? I don't know. You know, if you can afford 281 and you want to put him on for a little bit, you know, he routes people better. He does a lot of different things. But I'm talking about because the game is so run-based, when dudes try to go up to the line and be aggressive, you can now beat them over the top. The same thing with like a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. He's probably not going to drop the ball much, but he's getting chemmed up with his power up to an 88. So you're going to have to take advantage of things like Brawler in order to get the best out of the cards. But I don't agree with using 800 training per card to be able to get that +1 speed. So that's what I'm really, really trying to avoid. All right. Now you can see his bid price on this card is 800K. More than likely by the time he sells, he's probably not going to sell for 800K because it's 11 hours from now. Probably somebody's going to see what's good. But when you look at the fact, T.O.'s card, when it's chemmed with his power up, 90 speed and everything else that he has, he's unbelievable in this game. Like right now, he's ridiculous in the game. 52 run block, way better than all the other wide receivers that I have. So you guys have to understand that he's going to play much more on the field with other personnel, with the jumbo personnels that everybody's been running, the eye tights, the strong eye tight, those type of the power plays. He can stay out there and actually block enough to break those big runs and then also beat you on a deep route, slant, post, and all those different variations. So that's why it was very, very, you know, it's very, very difficult because he's so expensive, but I'm just giving you guys the information so you know what to do. Sammy Watkins, you know, congratulations to him having a big game, but his card, you know, it is what it is, dog. Like, I'm not about that. Like, bruh, no, I ain't doing that. I'm not spending that kind of money for a guy with 89 speed and no power up. Like, it's not going to work out like that. Even though I don't like the power-up situation, and I like the fact that they're releasing these, you know, these Team of the Week cards with a little bit more flexibility by not having power-ups and giving them boosted stats. That might work for me in the future. We might end up filling up our team without power-up soon, based on their new format, so that we don't have to go through the excess training, and then when we get rid of the player, it doesn't cost us as much. So those are some of the things that I really wanted to point out, but T.O. by far is the best wide receiver in the game. All right, but like I showed you, Mark, I showed you Hollywood Brown. I've showed you other things that you can do to, you know, in the temporary to kind of wait, because once Randy Moss drops, all bets are off. And I don't care what his run block is, he's going to always be out there to prevent people from pressing, because you won't be able to press that guy. Even with the way the game is now, after all the several title updates and all the warp tacking and all that stuff is back, Randy Moss will beat you over the top more often than not, even if it stays the way it is right now. If they patch it and it gets a little bit more difficult to play it, we'll go from there. And you guys know I'll let you guys you know, be updated with what I'm seeing as far as the patch updates. All right, so for now, I would go with Hollywood Brown. Also, wait a minute, I'm going to show you one more thing before I let you go. I believe that John Ross also got an upgrade to 91 speed, right? So let's go to that Team of the Week card, because he was part of the Team of the Week, and I think he was very, very cheap. So that might be able to help some of us as well, because we'll be able to have 2 91 speed cards. Yeah, John Ross. So this guy was 91 speed, I believe. Or they put him up to 7K. He was at like 3K before. Yeah, so he's also 91 speed. So if you look at his other card that I had at kick returner, pretty much what was going on. Hold up, what was his other card? Was it that low? John Ross, you garbage, bruh. All right, so there he goes. All right, so he's gone up decent in a lot of different stats. So if you didn't want to use Hollywood Brown, you could also use him temporarily, because he was my punt returner for a very, very long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and snag one of these also. All right, we'll spend 7K on it. It's fine. Not a big deal, right? And then we'll put him in the lineup as well. But he's going to be, we'll keep him as kick returner, but we'll sub him in on certain plays, because I had his older card there. And then you could use those guys temporarily while we wait and see what else transpires with bigger body, faster receivers. But that's what we're going to need to do for now in order to stay competitive within the way the game is and not have Tyreek Hill. Because look, since the update, a lot of players are fumbling for no reason at all. Okay, and we have to be able to, let me remove him from the lineup. We have to be able to stop that from happening so often. So let's put John Ross in there because he's been pretty good overall with the, you know, with his speed and everything that he's been able to do. So we'll keep him out there. And then we'll also have, obviously, Hollywood Brown out there with the other one is 91 speed. And then both of them will be in the lineup as wide receivers when we need them. And then we could always make sure that we have somebody that can beat people over the top. And that's what we got to go with, guys, because speed kills. And in this game, it's even more inclined for you to have somebody with that type of speed. So I would just go cheap for now, wait it out, and then we'll go from there. So as I get more information about newer cards coming, I will definitely update you guys and we'll go from there. And I hope to see you guys soon in a stream coming soon to Twitch at GmiasWorld and weekly right here on YouTube at GmiasWorld for my members. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. Be sure to subscribe, click that post notification. Until next time, one love.